8. So today I'm here with Jiang from Harmony. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing at Harmony?
Sure. Thanks, Alex, and thanks for organizing the great community. I've been part of the Harmony team since the early days in back in 2018 when we started in the Bay Area and in Silicon Valley, and we've been building this community, building this team, and ultimately building the network. And so we launched our mainnet in 2019, and we've been continuing to grow and expand through all the different market conditions and all the other challenges of the market. But we continue to build this year, and I think in recent times, we just launched a new product that we'll with one of our partners that we'll talk about a little bit later on the show. And we're continuing to keep figuring out what is the next step that we can build in blockchain and crypto, like in general, for to have meaningful value for users in this space. We're thinking about a lot of different ideas. We've been, of course, at it for 5 years now, and just continue to keep grinding away in all circumstances. And so I think that's one thing that we're excited about. We have some, as you say, new members on the team that we recruited, including actually one of the technical leads from the Ethereum Foundation. We're very
Wow.
excited about that, and yeah, just a good overall time to be building in this space. And I think it's going to take a lot of time in this cycle now where we are at, but that's how it's done, and just kind of put our heads down and keep thinking about new ideas and new opportunities.
Yeah, and talking about the Harmony team, I gotta say I love the Harmony team. You guys are awesome. So, just a little background for the listeners. I originally met Lee when I was staying down in the Bay Area. Visited them down in the Harmony office, and I started playing basketball with Steven. And Steven, for a guy, is 5'7" or something like that. I'm about 6 foot. That guy who keeps dunking on me, man. God really showed how
Yeah.
bad I am at basketball. But it's been great. Ever since then, it's just been really in love with the Harmony team and what they've been building. So, Lee, I got my first question for you is, what got you into blockchain? What made you embrace Web3 as the tech and as the future and something that you want to work in?
Yeah, I think that's a really good, timely question. I mean, back then, 2017, 2018 was when we first thought about the problem of scalability in blockchain, where Ethereum, for those of us who can remember, CryptoKitties actually was quite a popular project at the time, congesting the Ethereum mainnet network. And we really felt like, because of some of the backgrounds of the founding team members coming from Google and Amazon and Apple Maps, building large scale infrastructure that supported a billion users, a billion people, that we could, think about something that is more scalable, that costs less to use, that, as blockchain grows and scales as an industry, that billions of people can participate in this network. So I think, that was the initial inspiration that we've been building ever since then, of trying to build a network that is much cheaper than, let's say, Ethereum mainnet today, and is faster, does transactions in 2 seconds, faster transaction speeds. And yeah, we've been doing that. So, initially when we launched the network, it was just it only had like send and transfer features, but of course we built out the whole Ethereum virtual machine, EVM compatibility, later on, and we're actually integrated with a lot of the standard tools in the Ethereum community, like MetaMask. We're one of the default networks, so very thankful for that, and continue to just keep building out the network, making it useful for lots of people. And as we go into the future, I think there's a lot of potential applications that we all see in crypto, right? It's an
Mm-hmm.
infinite game of potential application. Anyone can come and launch a token, can build smart contracts, can design applications that would solve their problems. Obviously we've spent a lot of time as an industry building decentralized finance products. The clear use case is transfer of value over different countries, different borders, different currencies. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. We can exchange value with each other, and
Hmm.
so that's still the core thesis and fundamentally true. I mean, there's been a lot of other things. I see a lot of people with NFTs here, right? There's a lot of other use cases that's enabled by this technology, and we are providing one of the foundational layers
Hmm.
that people can build upon, and let's see what people build, right? In the next few years, so there should be many more builders coming online, right? As
Hmm.
this technology matures, as more people learn about whether it's solidity or just like blockchain itself, that there will be again. I think we're really inspired by the Ethereum community, calling it the infinite garden, where any possible application can be built, and it's just a matter of seeing like what gets done in the next few years.
Yeah, absolutely. And two, I wanted to touch a little bit about how Harmony kind of approaches the blockchain and with especially regarding their validators. I was looking in, I was doing a little bit of a deep dive on you guys, and I was learning about how you guys do sharding for your validators. How do you guys like this approach? And are you guys happy you kind of stuck with shards for your validator system all the way through?
Yeah, so when we did that initially in 2018, 2019, it was that was the core thesis, is how to make blockchains much more scalable, and we were one of the first proof of stake and sharded blockchains to launch in 2019, and that has been really a really wonderful experience for us, building something that is unique. And as you can see now, like even Ethereum 2.0 has migrated to proof of stake. They were the original inspiration for sharding and building out scalability. So that's really the foundation of fundamental innovation that I think we actually accomplished. In this space. Obviously, we're not the only ones. There are a lot of other projects doing both proof of stake and sharding, but I think we were, one of the projects that hopefully contributed to this space and build a settlement of like a layer of technology that other people can build upon, whether it's now or in the future. Like hopefully, we actually want people to come and even everything's open source, right? So we
Hmm.
want actually people to even fork and kind of build innovations on top of us, and think about how to create scalability, whether it's now or in the future. So I think, yeah, I mean, we've always been wanting to like contribute something to the overall industry, whether
Hmm.
whether like there's all kinds of circumstances about your path and your journey, and whether you're successful or not in that path and journey. But because of this open community, all the technology is open source, that we will always contribute this layer of technology in that it will always be part of the history of like blockchains in that way.
Absolutely. And two, you mentioned you guys, have entered into, Web3 with the goal of solving the blockchain trilemma, right? Of balancing
Yeah, yeah.
scalability with security and decentralization. In your opinion, how close are you guys to reaching this goal? And have you guys added any other new goals to this overall mission?
Yeah, I think that's it's a goal that we're all that we can always strive for. And I actually think that I think all the whole industry has actually made quite a lot of progress. And I wouldn't say it's just about what one network did. I think like many of these networks, I would say that I definitely think that Ethereum virtual machine, like this whole all the EVM compatible networks are as a whole, as a group, have like driven the industry forward quite a bit and given people many options, whether it's us or all the other EVM chains. Like I do think that some of the tools like MetaMask has really been the winners of this last few years, and driving for and like just getting more people to be able to access uh, any decentralized network, there we have over 150 validators now, so it's really been great to like get more of those people involved in providing this decentralized scalable platform. And I think the next goal that has always been on my mind since day one,
Hmm.
and it's still very much on my mind, is user adoption. I think adoption and usage of a lot of these networks, unfortunately, has still been very low.
Hmm.
If you really look at, whether it's 5,000 or 10,000 active wallets per day. For a lot of people who come from Web 2, like that seems like a very small number, but this is just a different way of thinking about it, because every active wallet is making a financial transaction, so it's a little bit different than just like a user on the internet who's reading a web page for free, right? So
Hmm.
we're doing something fundamentally, adding value, adding a financial value to every transaction. But I do think that yeah, the goal has to be about making impact for users and people, and so we'd love to see us getting back to 100,000 users that we had maybe when the market was good during the bull market. But I think building back gradually back to that level, but with high utility products and tools, and without relying so much on just the blessings of the market timing and things like that. So yeah, I think the whole industry is trying to build more utility, and getting more developers to come in and build those utility is a big challenge, actually, I would say, but
I
worthwhile.
100% agree. I think
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now adoption is one of the hardest things to get right. I always talk
yeah,
about adoption for games, right? And I mean, adoption for games can be just as simple as having just a good game. But when it comes to
yeah.
adoptions in actual blockchains and getting the devs on there, what do you think is kind of the biggest struggle? Do you think it's the lack of education, lack of trust? What do you think is really kind of slowing down the adoption process of people getting into specific chains themselves, like say Harmony,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, outside of Ethereum, and maybe like a few other ecosystems like Cosmos and some of the top, let's say outside of the top 5 or 10 like ecosystems, even then it's very hard to keep building traction when there's less like market incentives in a bear market. I think like the the thing we have to remember is a lot of these smart contract platforms are less than 5 years old. Even in the case of Ethereum, it's probably 7 or 8 years old, and so it is, in the grand scheme of like history, it's still quite a new technology. I mean, even the internet, like most people forget that the internet was invented in the 1980s. It just took so long before it reached consumers that for probably most of us, we started using it in the late 90s or early 2000s. I mean, mobile internet didn't come around until like late, 2008, 2009, after the App Store. So I think because crypto created financial value on day one with tokens and everything, that
Hmm.
we have a very short time frame. Like everyone's trying to, well, probably not everyone, but a lot of people like look at the token value and think it should, be worth a lot, and such. But I think like really building is really hard, takes a long time. There's a
Hmm.
lot of detours on the way. You might go down the wrong path. Your product might not get any traction, so you have to start over. I mean, that happens a lot in like young industries. Whether it's, we saw it with mobile apps, we saw it in the dot-com era. I think we're kind of like in the low period after the dot-com bubble analogy right now. So I think it is this like process of getting people to come and understand like what's possible on blockchain. Of course, right now I think everyone's talking a lot about AI, let's say, and just like going off in even newer directions. But I think over long period of time, like we have to like as the industry, we have to demonstrate the value that we provide to users, and then like as more users come, there'll be more developers, and it becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. And I think we are making progress, right, every day, like
Yeah.
launching a new product every week, in, announcing another project. Like we just announced another auction market that launched on our network today. But
Wow.
these things just kind of take gradual time. So
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of one by one until hopefully enough momentum builds up that it can be a lot of. It won't be a linear growth. It'll be like very slow, and then hopefully one day, like with enough critical mass, can really accelerate.
Got you. You know what? I 100% agree. Truthfully, right? We are very early, and it's just gonna take that slow crawl until we're all running, like you
Yeah,
said, right? So I want to talk a little bit about the Harmony's roadmap for 2023. But before we do
yeah,
that, I just want to do a quick room reset here. I just want to thank again all of the listeners for joining in today. There is going to be a segment for Q&A near the end. So if you guys have any questions, you can type them up in the community channel chat there, and then we'll get to them when the time comes. Now, going back onto the Harmony roadmap, you guys have a lot of big plans, right? Cross-chain tooling, embedded marketplaces, creator fan economy, and seasonal governments. So, what does this mean for the evolution of the Harmony ecosystem, and what does this mean for the community? It's very exciting. If I was a community member of Harmony seeing this roadmap, I'd be really excited.
yeah. So we definitely have a long ways, as we said earlier. It's very early days in the industry in terms of utility. We definitely want to, still. Our thesis has always been connecting with other like EVM networks. We the idea of multi-chain has been talked about a lot in the last, I would say, 2 or 3 years as all these networks become coming online. They're all compatible, mostly compatible with each other in the EVM world anyway. And we definitely want to continue to build out that connectivity and those applications. But I think, yeah, also just like continue to optimize the network and make it fast, efficient, and grow that. And then really the harder part is, as you say, like the creator fan economy with the one dot country, which I think we can talk a little bit about
Mm-hmm.
in a minute. Really bring on creators and users into the network and onto this economy. And so I think, yeah, it's a very exciting time. It's also a very challenging time to kind of bring in new people
Mm-hmm.
into the space. Um, but I think it's a very worthwhile, endeavor to be focusing on right now.
And I kind of want to. This kind of ties in because I'm all about Web3 gaming, and when I see
Yeah,
creator fan economies, embedded marketplaces, cross-chain tooling, this gets me all fired up about the future of the games on Harmony. But I'm
yeah,
curious about your own personal opinion of the future
yeah,
of
yeah.
Web3 gaming, and how does this fit into Harmony's plan?
Yeah, yeah. So that's interesting that you asked me the question. And I think that, like, personally, I'm not much of a gamer, but I think that it is a really great, like, it's undisputable, it's indisputable that, like, many people, it is a huge and a fast-growing category with billions of people, right, around the world who play games of all kind, including mobile games. And I think the task for Web3 builders is how to onboard those people, right? Like, if someone makes a really good Web3 game, like that's in some ways a gold mine of being able to like engage the next billion users, and that's what we all want. But I think like uh, games for me in Web3 should be thought of as much broader than just like, hey, open up your phone and play this mobile app. It could be something as simple as like play like take these questions and answer the questions, like learn something about crypto and earn some tokens, like the whole learn and earn thing. Like to me, that's a game. It's an intellectual like knowledge game. It might not be like I think Web3 game might not look the same as Web2 games, right? Just because we
Mm-hmm.
the network is not necessarily a high compute network. It's more like it's more like a way of coordinating people across different like countries. And so there's some on-chain games like Dark Forest, probably very famous. And I think the types of games that we're talking about would be very much more expanded definition. And it's interesting because we just had the game developer conference in San Francisco
Right.
a few weeks ago, and I I think maybe we'll see some fresh ideas, not the Web 2 guys and girls coming in, but like totally new ideas into the space. But that's just what I think. So
Yeah, I was down in Ethereum Denver and they had the whole section of gaming there, and it really got me fired up about the future and about how studios are approaching the blockchain in a way that isn't really has anything to do with the blockchain, right? You have adopting users and bringing them on chain without them even knowing that they're on chain, and there's some really cool new ways that studios are doing it. So that gets me fired up. Now, I kind of want to talk about one country, right? Looking at this product, what inspired the Harmony team to develop this? And how has adoption been so far? I guess this is going to be a bit of a long question, Lee. So, like,
yeah,
both four and one. And also, can you elaborate a little bit more on bringing smart contracts to internet domains and how this really
yeah.
stands apart from the other blockchain domains? And then finally, I was reading up and mentioned that it helps create a fair digital economy. I'm also curious on this, if you could elaborate more on that. But yeah, kind of a long question, so I hope you got all that.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is a really big topic. And basically, what one dot country is it allows you to use your Web3 tokens and wallet and tool stack to be able to claim a Web3 identity that is like, let's say, Alex dot country, but also you get a Web2 website at the same time. So probably a lot of people are familiar with ENS, Ethereum Name Service. Like if you buy an ENS, you're getting that name, but it only works on like the Explorer and your wallet and only Web3 tools. You don't actually get like a full landing page at the same time when you buy it. What we've done is integrate both the Web3 part and the Web2 website that allows you to right now show off your profile like a link tree where you can put different
Hmm.
links about yourself or about your interests, and later on it can be used for all kinds of things like any website can do, right? So for example, if you want to sell content that you write, or if you are creating music and you're loading it to your website, and then you can sell it on using a purely crypto. So we allow people to have that kind of power of a Web2 domain without having to give their personal information to Google Domains or GoDaddy or one of the internet registrars.
Hmm.
And that is, I think that's the innovation. It's maybe a little hard to explain like all of that. It's quite a lot to kind of go through the whole stack,
Right.
but it gives it gives people ability to transact directly on the original internet. Right now, most business models on the internet is advertising, which means I take your data, I'm somehow giving you a free product, but I'm extracting data from you and then I'm selling it to the advertisers, right? So that's a very, in some ways, extractive business model. Like you're willing to give up your data, but I'm extracting that to create value. Like in one dot country, you can actually directly transfer value to a person's website that you like because they created value for you, whether it's they wrote something, they made music, they like created products that you can buy and ship to your house. We had all these ideas. We actually even experimented with videos, merchandise, all these things that are still very possible. And so this is just and oh, by the way, you asked about like the early reception. We've sold the first 300 domains that people have claimed,
Let's
which is great.
go.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great start for actually, yeah, for a Web3 product, right? That's a good start, and it opens up a possibility to build and create many things on the internet that I think we can think about, right? This is like we're 2 weeks into since the launch of One Dot Country, yeah, 1 or 2 weeks, yeah, since then, and so like there's there's many possibilities. Like anything you can imagine doing with a website, you can now do with full Web3 stack. Lots of potential, can continue to just keep growing organically, and also through partners, through affiliates. So yeah, I mean, I think it's really a unique product that we haven't seen around, compared to some of the other naming services.
Yeah, and this gets me really excited for all of the Harmony One analysts out there because with that domain, you guys can pull the insights that you make and put them
Uh-huh.
right onto your through Footprint. You can actually put them right onto
Yeah.
your one country domain, and through there you can do whatever you'd like. You can monetize them, turn them into research articles, whatever you'd like. You can get your insights directly onto your one country, and that gets me fired up. Okay,
Yeah.
Lee, we're getting a little bit close to the end time here, so I got one final question for you before we bring it into the Q&A with the audience. So, when I was looking into this space today, I go lie, Lee, I was on your LinkedIn seeing what you got, and I didn't know you were such a big, extreme frisbee player. That's pretty cool. So my question for you is, what's the best tip you can give me to improve my technique on throwing a frisbee? Right, I'm trying to get over 50 yards here on a toss. So, what advice can you give me so I can actually do that?
I think you're already doing pretty well if you're aiming for 50 yards. And I think just a little bit about I think frisbee is really fun. I mean, you run around quite a lot, and it's definitely helped to keep myself thing in some ways the last few years. And just like, as anybody working in a startup, I would say that you have to like really do everything possible to keep yourself like healthy and physically, mentally, in all the ways. And just, I think,
Agreed.
Alex, you should just come out and play with us a lot more. That's the only way.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll take you up on that offer.
Yeah.
Actually, at the end of the month here, I'm coming down to San
Oh,
Francisco, a
great.
little bit of a boys' trip,
Yeah.
just to see some of my buddies there. So I'll definitely, if you guys are playing a game, I'll definitely take you up on that offer for sure.
Yeah.
Now, you guys, that's all for my questions today. Let's bring it to the audience. If you have any questions, remember just type them up in the community sharing chat up there. I see Apostle of Finance, Stephanie. You guys, don't be afraid to ask your questions. I'll give you about 30 seconds, and then if there's no questions, we'll just wrap it up. But Lee, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I know you're a super busy guy, so I'm really happy that you were able to join today. It's awesome.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. And we really love working with Footprint. Definitely signed up for one of the premium packages, to get all the data, and I think it's amazing that like the service exists. It's really great for our tracking of wallets, our engagement with users, our product launch. Like as you can probably, I don't know if you saw or not, but like the one country stats page is
Mm-hmm.
basically pulling in Footprint data. And so we are super excited to be working with you guys. I think yeah, there's a lot of potential for this platform. It's amazing that the community can build dashboards of all kinds. And yeah, we're having a lot of fun working with the product.
That being said, if you guys are curious about the one country stats, let me link that dashboard for you guys because it's on our website and it is super sweet. Let me pop here. One. Country. All right, let me pop that up here. I'll put that in the community sharing. Check this out, guys. It's sweet. Oh, and I see Steph is typing. All right. Actually, Lee, it was really nice. I think you met Stephanie with me when I first met you at the Stanford Blockchain
Oh,
Conference.
yeah. Oh, right.
Uh, yeah, back in the day. Um, so Steph had asked you a question. She says, "Is there any favorite dashboards or things you look at on Footprint?"
Oh yeah. Well, there's quite a lot. We definitely track all of our domain sales. We track it's really good because I think it breaks down very granular levels of detail. Like how much token in terms of value were exchanged in like 24 hours. It's very good to know the health of the like ecosystem network, the traction that any product launch has. So basically our whole team's Q1 goal was based on like the number of domains sold, the number of wallets that were claiming those domains, the amount of revenue. The dashboard is very convenient in terms of converting to dollars and having pulling in some real time data. So I think yeah, I mean we were like staring at basically, yeah, it's a product that we use every day. We're staring at the footprint dashboard daily to track our Q1 progress.
I'm gonna send this recording to Tony, my boss, after, and he's gonna blush, Lee. Hearing all this great praise from you is amazing. And with that being said, that's our last question, you guys. So let's wrap it up. Is there any other final thoughts that you wanted to say, Lee, about Harmony, about yourself, about the dinner you're cooking tonight?
uh, yeah, I think our team is very happy. It's definitely, we had a good Q1 in terms of building and launching One Dot Country, and we have a lot to do in the rest of the year ahead of us, and we're very excited to build that. We are still bringing in builders and partners and friends in our Silicon Valley home base, and we're just like looking forward to seeing what progress we can make this year. Like everyone's all hands on deck now.
Yeah, well, you're in the best place to do it. I've never seen a community like the San Francisco Web3 community. It's really quite amazing. Or I guess the Bay Area Web3 community is just
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
But yeah, thanks
yeah.
for coming up, Lee. And with that, I'm saying ciao for now.